Hi, today is one day short of 2 weeks since I had my below the knee amputation. Now today I spent a lot of time traveling around town in the wheelchair and I discovered a whole load of things that I had never thought of with regards to wheelchairs. Now I have used one before, but it was only briefly, and I had 2 legs at the time, so I could stand up. But when you actually have no other way of getting around, there's some things that you need to consider when it comes to wheelchair users you may not have even thought of. So to start with one leg, you are not nipping anywhere. If you want to go to town, you want to drop off a whole lot of things, you want to nip in there and just get that, there's no nipping involved here, because you have to get out of the car, get someone to lift the wheelchair out of the car, transfer into the wheelchair, go into the shop, come back, transfer out of the wheelchair, get somebody to put the wheelchair back in the car. Everything takes 10 times longer than it would if you had 2 feet. Also, another thing you've probably not considered, and that is the state of the pavements. Now, knobbly pavements with the fancy new block paving are a problem when it comes to the fact that you've got a stump support and it's jiggling your leg around. It's actually quite painful. And block paving is a lot harder to propel yourself forward on than smooth concrete and tar seal and that sort of thing. Plus, I found today there's a whole load of crossings that have got shitty curbs on them. So I actually needed help to get over the lip and onto the road and back again, because I would have nosedived, face planted or tipped over sideways because of the potholes. Have you ever thought of that? When you've only got wheels to travel on, you probably never thought of that. You can't just cross the road wherever you like. You can't dodge the traffic and nip between those cars. There's no nipping involved. Like I said, it takes 10 times longer to cross the road when you're in a wheelchair. The road has got a camber, so you're going up into the middle of the road and down the other side. It's only slight, so slight you've probably never noticed it when you're on 2 feet. When you're in a wheelchair, that little slope feels like a mountain. Have you ever looked at the pavements and noticed they slope slightly sideways so that all the rain runs off into the road? What that means is if you're traveling along on a pavement, one arm, the one that's next to the road, is working twice as hard as the other arm, and the other arm is braking to try and stop you from constantly steering into the road all the time. I bet you have never thought of that. Now, let's not talk about wheelchairs for a moment, because it's currently giving me a headache. I think I managed to solve my problem of carrying a hot drink between the kitchen and the lounge. I went to an outdoor shop today and I got a thermos cup with a lid. Now it looks like a mug, it's got a handle, it's got a lid, but it's thermos insulated. So I can hold it between my knees with a lid on and take myself in the wheelchair to the lounge, take the lid off, and I feel like I've still got a cup. I'm hoping it'll work. I'll let you know tomorrow. I also have the iWalk. I'm not going to unwrap it because it's in pieces. It has actually arrived, and it's the knee crutch that I'm hoping to use at some point. I see my physio soon, so I'm going to ask him when he thinks it would be appropriate to use that. That would give me hands-free whilst I'm waiting for the prosthetic to be made. But anyway, at this rate, actually, I might actually be on a prosthetic before I know it, because the appointment is 4 weeks on Monday. But who knows? It's good to have anyway, because when your leg is rubbing or something or other, it's still good to have it. My lovely sister sent me some wheelchair gloves. Now, I haven't got them with me, but thank you to her, because they were great today. They've got a grip on the hands. Now, these wheels have got very smooth bars on them. Let me just show you. Down there. And the problem with that is when you're traveling on a surface that's resistant or up a slope, your hands slip. So those gloves have been really helpful, and they're different from bike gloves because they cut off at the fingers, but there's a whole thumb, because your thumb is what you're using the most on the wheel of the wheelchair to propel yourself forward, and the thumb has got a grip. Thank you, because those gloves are great. I tried them today. Bet you haven't thought of that before. So all in all, productive day, but our shoulders are pretty tired, because this morning I went shopping, to the coffee shop with my friend, and then back to the car. She did push me over the dodgy curbs and across the camber in the road, but the rest of the time I took myself. Then I went out for lunch with my husband. We walked around the park. That was quite a distance, but then my shoulders were like, so he did push me for a while. And we also did a bit of shopping and then came back. I also went to the physiotherapist, and I've actually got an appointment soon, so I can't wait to get started with actual physiotherapy, even though the hospital says I don't need it. Who cares? I do need it, so I'm taking the world into my own hands, because nothing ever happens if you just wait for everybody else. So that will be happening soon, so I can't wait for that. That's quite exciting. Tomorrow marks 2 weeks, and no one that's seen me today can believe that I had an amputation just that soon ago. There's one more thing though I need to talk to you about, and that is wheelchair shopping. This wheelchair is really heavy. I know this because the people that carry it in and out of the car tell me this. So imagine carrying heavy shopping bags all the time. That's what I'm doing when I'm propelling myself forward. But I'm in a bit of a dilemma because I'm not going to be sitting in this chair all my life. I'm only going to be using it mostly for the next couple of months, and then maybe only occasionally. So that makes shopping for a chair quite tricky. Do I just use this one and cope with it? Maybe my shoulders will be really sore, or maybe really strong, or both, perhaps. Or do I get one of my own? If I get one of my own, what sort do I get? Because there are ones that you can buy that are just for like short-term use, using occasionally, that sort of thing. And there's ones that you would buy that if you're going to be sitting in them all the time. There's quite a different price range for those. There's different types of models for those. Some have got handles, some don't. Some fall down into multiple pieces, some don't. Some are lightweight, some are not. The lighter the weight, does that mean you're compensating with the integrity of the chair? All these are things I never even considered before. I did not even know there was a minefield of wheelchairs until today. So I have learned a lot of stuff today that I didn't even think I would need to learn. Another productive day in the land of being an amputee. Oh yeah, and one more thing. We solved the what to do with your leg when you're driving in a car problem. It's not very scientific, but the back of your leg, if you've got no foot supporting it, actually starts to hurt just with your leg just dangling off into midair. So we've solved the problem. Here's the problem solver. So, thank you for watching. Feel free to share if you think this is going to help anyone else. Let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about specifically. Absolutely anything, I don't mind. It doesn't need to be about being an amputee or in a wheelchair or disabled or anything like that. I don't care. Just let me know if there's something you want me to talk about. Hopefully my voice will come back soon. I hope so. And I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow marks 2 weeks exactly.